runway, I'm out of here. I'm going to my nearest suitable.
And I think you told me one time about the worst that could happen is the engine falls off the airplane. The worst would be if fire comes in the cabin.
Oh, well, at this point, the message is out. And so we're fine. Because we're single engine. I don't like flying around single engine.
November 31 Charlie.
Okay, so the message extinguished.
Yeah.
We're done with the checklist.
Correct.
The engine's secured.
Exactly right.
Okay.
If that was still lit, I'd be real worried.
Fantastic, permitting 31 Charlie. We'd like to do left.
If shutting down the engine did not extinguish the condition, I'd be worried.
Dandy 06, contact tower 119.9er. Eclipse 2 Yankee uniform, turn left heading 260.
Left 260 to Yankee uniform.
Uniform 5 miles from Semca, turn left heading 200, maintain 9000 until established on the final approach course, cleared RNAV Yankee, runway 17 right approach.
200 9000, cleared the approach to Yankee uniform.
Don't have to wait. I don't know if you knew that.
No, I just remembered at the last second. Yeah.
But what I was getting at is going to say, you don't have to verify that that is gone. You can look right there. Vectors is gone.
November 9er Bravo Julia, just want to maintain 9er.
Same thing.
Okay.
Vectors mode active is gone. All those signs, the suspend is gone. My vectors arm intercept button's gone. All of those things tell me that I am now back to normal.
The one thing I wonder about a procedural thing, so that you always remember to do the vectors arm intercept, is you said just go ahead and hit approach anytime you're cleared. But can I go ahead and hit vectors arm intercept too? Because she might clear me for the approach back at high down.
And you should. You should always, when you're getting vectors to final, and when cleared the approach, hit arm intercept and approach.
She won't clear me from high down then on vectors.
If she clears you direct to high down, then you're not getting vectors.
Right. Okay. I think we're on the same page. So I could do clear the approach, hit approach, hit vectors arm intercept, flip up my light if I want to.
Anytime you're getting vectors to final, that's correct.
Okay.
If she clears you direct to Hayden, you don't have this vectors arm intercept because you're going direct to Hayden. You never put the FMS in vectors mode.
Okay.
Evo 06 on the go, 5 runway heading.
Now we're going to go to 60%. Well, let's see, we're single engine.
Yep, it's all different now. So you just kind of, what I do is set a power setting that will make that airspeed bleed off about.
To Yankee uniform.
Make it bleed off about a knot every second. I just want to make it bleed off and slowly come down to VYSE as we slowly get closer to our minimums.
Yeah, if anything, come in fast.
Well, fast is not good when we get close to the ground.
True. I just don't want to get behind the power curve.
Exactly. So it's just...
VYSE. Hang on a sec. Springs Tower, Eclipse 2 Yankee uniform, RNAV 17 right.
Eclipse 2 Yankee uniform, Springs Tower 17 right, clear for the option.
Clear for the option, 2 Yankee uniform.
So here's the game I play.
Contact departure.
I'm looking at this altitude compared to this altitude.
I don't have hot flaps in yet.
I'm looking at this altitude compared to this altitude. Okay. As this comes down towards that, this airspeed comes down towards the VYSE that's down near about 100. And I'm playing the game. Which one's going to win? Which one? I want them to both tie. I want them to exactly tie. So I just got to watch. Who's going to win? I want them to tie. Alright, so here's the tricky part. At your minimums, you won't see anything. You're going to go missed approach. Okay. The book says single engine missed approaches have to be done without the autopilot. Cannot leave it coupled.
Okay.
Not as easy as you think. But I want to disengage the autopilot. I also want to disengage the yaw damper, but I don't want to use the red button to do that, because then it will get rid of my flight directors.
Ah. Yeah, I think, would you approve if I wanted to disconnect now to begin flying on with my hand?
Sure.
Okay. So I'm going to disconnect this.
And disconnect the yaw damper with that. There you go.
And why am I doing that?
Because you're going to need that rudder when you go missed approach. You're going to need to step on it. And if the yaw damper's on, it will fight you. You'll have to push through the clutch.
500.
Okay, so I'm going to do a full throttle. I'm going to toga. Throttle max.
Approaching
Flaps, take off.
minimums.
We're already in take. Going to go toga power rudder pitch.
Minimums.
Rudder. Flaps are already in takeoff. Them right there. Positive rate.
Landing.
Fly VYSC.
Here. Landing.
Ignore the
here.
flight directors. Fly
Land
VYSC.
traffic.
Remember, ignore the flight directors. Fly VYSC. Wrong way. We got to climb. Slow our airspeed down by climbing. Now, if you want, you reach up, push nav altitude change, and those flight directors become valid. Real engine failure, this goes right to here.
Yankee uniform, contact departure, seal.
Departure to Yankee uniform.
Now, you can fly the flight directors.
Well, my mind is, I wasn't able to follow everything.
Now we're just back, fly the flight directors, don't allow that gap.
Okay. Departure Eclipse to Yankee uniform 7000.
Eclipse to Yankee uniform, springs departure, radar contact verified. This is ILS full stop.
Affirmative to Yankee uniform.
In order to Yankee uniform, sorry about it. Localizer only, the glide slope is out.
Yes, and it'll be actually ILS with circle to land on 13 to a full stop.
Roger.
Alright, so now when you think we have safely away from the ground, away from any obstacles that we can now level off and accelerate to 120, when you feel that moment is good, then that's what we do, but don't touch those flaps.
Eclipse
That was-
to Yankee uniform, turn left heading 080.
080 to Yankee uniform.
Don't touch those flaps until we have that acceleration.
Okay. That's what I was trying to do back there. You're just saying I was doing it too early?
We weren't above 400 feet.
Okay. Now I'm with you.
You were instinctively putting flaps, like you go flaps full to takeoff.
Right.
Our procedure for single engine missed approach
You're already in takeoff.
leave them in takeoff.
Okay.
Now, we don't want to climb. If we're a high altitude hot day, we'd like that to be zero and get as much acceleration as we can so we can get those flaps up. Don't descend though. There we go. Now we're going to get back in the machine as the flaps move the bug at the same speed as the flaps go up. Fly those flight directors, fly the flight directors, fly the flight directors. Boom. Get up there. Come on, let's make this thing climb single engine. Look at that, 14 degrees nose high. Get that sucker up there. Come on, let's go rocket ship here. There we go. Look at that, 1,600 feet per minute, single engine at 8,000 feet. I love it. That's what I'm talking about. That's what the Eclipse is all about. All right, careful putting too much aileron trim in, rudder trim in, because
It'll stick.
once you get leveled off, guess what you're gonna have to do?
Right.
Take it all
Take it
out. And you're just causing work for yourself. I'm sure your leg is strong enough to hold that rudder for just a little bit, 700 more feet.
Actually, with 2 feet, it's pretty easy.
There you go.
Because you don't need your right pedal at all. Or the opposite.
On 1,000 foot per minute at 8,500 feet.
That's really a great tip on the aileron there.
Yeah, you don't need
myself
it.
fighting it.
Yep. The guy at Delta taught me that trick. Because I was working way too hard on my V1 cuts in the 737. I'm going...
Let's 2 Yankee uniform, turn left heading 010.
Left 010 to Yankee uniform.
Get up there. Get in those flight directors. Alright, you'll notice that the stick is going to start going the opposite way, and you need to start taking out rudder. And then once you get the throttle set to where you're at a cruise speed, everything all trimmed up where you can be feet on the floor hands off the stick, that's when I engage the autopilot. And the autopilot then will have an easy time controlling the airplane.
Why do I care about the autopilot having it easy?
You want to be nice to your autopilot.
Sandy 06, turn left heading.
Especially when you're single engine, it struggles to try to keep those flight directors. What approach are we doing?
ILS.
She said the glide slope
circle
was
to
out.
land, that's right.
No, she said the glide slope is out.
Yeah, so localizer approach, but we're going to do circle to land.
Exactly.
And so that is, we do have Humpy, so 7020.
How are you going to identify Humpy?
It's going to show up here.
Are you positive?
Well, let's find out. Oh, I hate to give up my waypoints. But it's vectors anyway, right? Are you okay with me selecting that?
06, turn left heading 360, sir, request. Eagle 06, roger, expect that.
Ah, no Humpy. So in that case, then our minimums are going to be 7540.
And that in lies the little trick I was telling you about. Is everybody wants to grab that, assuming that the FMS is going to give me Humpy. But guess what? You just programmed in the FMS. What was the title? What's the title of this approach?
ILS 17 left.
And this 7540 is only for
the
localizer only.
06, turn left heading.
So that's why we don't have Humpy, because this is the ILS.
But it's all part of the same approach. You don't get a different plate.
It's not part of the ILS. Humpy is a localizer only fix. Now the problem is the jet does.
2 Yankee uniform, turn left heading 260.
Left 260 to Yankee uniform.
The problem is the jet plate does not make that very clear. The government plate says it exactly. It says Humpy 7540 localizer only.
Okay.